So good afternoon to all. Whether to say good afternoon or good evening, that is the problem. Actually, we were assigned the time between 3 to 3:45, but probably it might be 4 o'clock. So okay, so I, Jevan Jagtap, I will welcome you all. So we are having two personalities with me. One of Atul Pandarpate is my best friend. We worked together for a number of years. And as far as the Joshi sir is concerned, he is totally from the academics. He is working with the Bato University, so that is known to everybody. What I learned about him, that is very important, that he conducts the different sessions for 8 hours for number of days. That is his skill. So don't be afraid. That is not going to happen here. We are allotted only 45 minutes, so there will not be any problem for that. So one thing that is, of course, we had number of sessions since the morning as far as from the industry person, what is industry 4.40, what is industry 5.0, and we had a lot of discussion. Now we are going to have some totally different type of discussion because two of my friends are from the academics. So Pandarpate sir had worked in KBP college for almost 12 years. Probably might be for the 12 years, and now he is in industry for 24 years. So he is from industry as well as from the academics. So he is one of the best experts as far as this particular session is concerned. So as far as this industry 5.0 is concerned, so there was a development from industry 1.0 to 2.0 and then 5.0. Similarly, there is one concept that education 1.0 to 5.0. In early days, there was only teacher-oriented education. So only teacher used to teach the subject, and there was nothing like the involvement or the specific understanding or conceptual learning from the students. But nowadays, there's a change. There's a change in the scenario. Instead of teaching, there's a learning. So students are made to learn than we as a teacher. So we teachers are going to provide the facilities for the learning. So that is a change in the role. So I will request Joshi sir to say few thing about as far as this particular education 5.0 is concerned. And one more thing. Now this is the last session. Of course, it's not last session because after this there might be vote of thanks. So this is second last session. So I'm going to change this total pattern of this. Instead of this particular question answer session, we'll have the discussion, that is casual discussion. मराठीत जसं म्हणतो की गप्पा टप्पा करण्याचा प्रकार, तसंच थोडंसं गप्पा टप्पा करण्याचा प्रकार करूया. कारण बऱ्याच वेळा अगोदरच्या सेशनमध्ये सगळ्यांनी सांगितलं की झोप येईल किंवा झोप आलेली नाही किंवा असे झोपेचे शब्द आलेले होते. त्यामुळे थोडंसं आम्ही क्वेश्चन आन्सर कडून एक गप्पा टप्पा या स्वरूपात जाण्याचा प्रयत्न करणार आहे. तर पहिल्यांदा पूर्णपणे अकॅडमिक्समध्ये असलेले जोशी सर आहेत, त्यांना मी विनंती करेन की हे 1.0 एज्युकेशन 1.0 टू एज्युकेशन 5.0 हा काय सिनेरिओ आहे, काय प्रकार आहे, थोडंसं थोडक्यात त्यांनी सांगावं प्लीज सर.
What will be comfortable, Marathi or English? What is more comfortable? Okay, we'll use a mix of language. So wherever I'll feel it comfortable to explain it in Marathi, we'll shift to Marathi, otherwise we'll continue with English. So like sir has just now mentioned, before I start with my discussion, let me first of all congratulate this institute for conducting this second summit. This unique initiative which this institute has started with. If we look at the banner, so you see before that Industry Institute Summit, on this side there are three numbers, three letters, three words. This side that is 2024. In between 22 is missing, which will be covered by today's date. So it's 20, 22 and 24. So first of all, congratulations to this institute for conducting this summit. As sir has mentioned that the role of a teacher or the type of education is changing. So I'll take it a little bit still behind. So sir mentioned about education 1.0, 2.0, 4.0, 5.0. So I'll take it a little behind. So if you look at the Vedic education, what earlier people used to have, Vedas and all those things which these people were learning. So they used to go to some guru's house, they used to stay there, and after staying there, what they were doing? In a sense, they were mugging up the Vedas without understanding the meaning probably. So now you will realize where we are in today's age. Here we are saying that in science age, in the technology age, we are saying that unless and until we understand something, don't do it. So at that time, the time was you have to mug up. When you were at the age of around 6 to 7 years or so, you had to go to the guru, then you had to start your learning, and start your learning was just mugging up the things, remembering it, reproducing it. So whatever in Bloom's technology taxonomy if we look at, so we were at the bottommost level, not even understand, it was just remember. So at that level we were at that particular point of time. When these people came to the society, at that time they started implementing whatever they had learned. At that time they started understanding what they have learned in their school days or in their ashram days. Now our era is totally different. As the development took place, we are rise to a level in the Bloom's taxonomy as well. So here what we say is, we cannot go back to that particular era where we have to mug up the things and reproduce it. Now if you look at those people who are now slightly aged one, even elder than me, those people may be remembering at their times, probably when they go to the industry, even conversion from inch to centimeter or centimeter to inch or millimeter to inch, you will have to remember these things. All these types of conversion you will have to remember. Today I have that at fingertip. Everybody has got the mobile. In that you have to just put something and you will get that information. You Google it, every information you get it there. So why we are asking our students to mug up the things again and again? Why we are not teaching our students to explore the things or how to explore the things? Even searching a right information from the source, knowledge is different, information is different. So if we want to convert that information into knowledge, we need to teach our students or anybody for that matter, how to search that information into the system. So now ample of things are available. So whatever we are teaching to our students in the classroom, lot more than that is available for them outside. But then we will have to teach them out of that what is important for you, how you can utilize your time and get ready for the industry. I'll take few more minutes on this. So typically we call it as a professional education. So what are the professional educations? Medical, engineering, pharmacy, architecture. Typically we call these as professional education. Then are lawyers not the professionals? But that doesn't come under professional education. So that's the difficulty at this distinction of the education. Whether CA is not a professional, so that is also a professional education. Now, why I mention about all these professions is, when you talk about a profession, what is the intention of this profession? As an engineer, most of the people here must be engineers, so from engineering background. So as an engineer, when we go to the doctor, so we cannot apply our own knowledge there. So we are going to a professional. We are paying a fees to the professional with the expectation that he has to use his knowledge of his profession and give me the guidance from his own field. When I go to the lawyer, I am not supposed to apply my brain there. I am not supposed to use my engineering knowledge there. I'll have to go to the lawyer, pay his fees and take the professional help from him. Professional in the sense his own profession. So please ask a question to yourself, am I really making a professional? प्रोफेशनल मीन्स मराठीमध्ये आपण त्याला व्यवसायाभिमुख शिक्षण म्हणतो, व्यवसाय करता आला पाहिजे त्याला. आर वी रिअली मेकिंग द स्टुडंट्स हू कॅन डू द बिझनेस, हू कॅन स्टार्ट अ बिझनेस, हू कॅन have their own enterprise? Really not. We are making the engineers job ready. From the first year itself we are telling them that in your interview you will have to answer this way. We don't show him how you can apply for a contract, how you can prepare your proposal, how you can give your presentation so that your proposal can be accepted into an industry, or for that matter any other licensee for that reason. So we are not doing that. So I am not saying that you don't make the engineers for getting the job, but when these engineers are going and doing their job, so that job should also be as a profession. So whomsoever is that industrialist, he will be like we people when we go to the doctor. So he may not know anything from the engineering background. As an engineer, their role has to be to know each and everything about that particular profession. Now I'll put one more point to this, how we can do this. So out of all these professional educations which I counted, there are only 2 professions for which the practice is not compulsory. For doctors, before you actually start doing your job, you will have to do a practice, internship you will have to do it. For lawyers, they have to do the internships. For CA, they have to do the internship. Then remains only pharmacy and engineering, for which the internship is not compulsory. It's there introduced into the syllabus, but it's not compulsory. So majority of the people take it in otherwise. So somehow we have to bring the certificate and then we will get the job. But in all other things, you will see that that's not the case. So we have to, first of all, like sir mentioned about the changing role. So from the first semester itself, Batu is the only university, I am not praising Batu here for that reason. Batu is the only university who has introduced internship from the first year itself. But when the curriculum is made, the implementation of the curriculum is in your hand. So whatever was the idea behind setting this curriculum, whether we are doing it in the right spirit. In the first year, I am not asking the student to go to the industry. It's absolutely wrong. In the first year, let him go to any enterprise. Let him go to even a local fabrication shop. Let him go to even a local grocery shop. Let him go to even a local medical shop. Let him go to even a local, let us say, garage, 4-wheeler, 2-wheeler mechanics. And let him understand how enterprise works. And then slowly, when he goes to the final year, he will have to get a flavor of an industry. And if he knows those things in advance, so when he comes to the class in the next year, probably he has some examples in his mind which he will be able to correlate. This is something which I had seen in the industry, and the technology or the knowledge behind it is this. So with the point which I started earlier, that earlier there was mugging up the things and then trying to implement it in the practical life. Here we are looking in the other way around. Let them see the world first, and then let them come into the classroom and then understand whatever I have seen it there, the theory behind this is like this, so that their interest can be developed and they will do it on their own. I think I have made my point.
So sir has said, so first we need to go to the workshop or to the business, and what is happening there, that we are going to understand, and thereafter what are the principles. So that theory part will be learned afterwards. First we'll at least will be, without any knowledge, we are going to have some interaction with those people. So we had some discussion, that is there was a Gurukul, and from the Gurukul now we are at the era of education 5.0. Of course, in this education 5.0, there's a personalized educational, then collaborative type of education, and number of tools are used. So we had a lot of discussion as far as the different tools are concerned, ICT, AI, AV, VR. So all those tools are, of course, to be used while education is going on. So now, as far as this particular education 5.0 is concerned, or industry 5.0 is concerned, the main skills are critical thinking and problem solving. So just I will go to Pandrapade sir, and what this critical thinking is, and how we can deal with this problem solving, and so how we can develop our these skills as far as this particular education is concerned.
Okay. Hello everyone. So actually, I may not tell exactly what that critical thinking is, etc. But what I would say, what industry expects from the students is that they have to be proactive. This is one thing which I find, I have observed that people are not proactive. So they themselves don't come up with ideas. Maybe they are suppressed during college times, etc. So if you encourage during college days itself, they can be proactive, and they can come up and take up the responsibility. Come forward, I'll do this, I want to do this kind of thing. That is what is expected from the industries. Because everyone wants someone to take up this thing. Now I can say that, okay, someone, you take this responsibility, but does he really like it? We are not sure about it. But if it comes from him only, then at least I am sure that he will take up and he will do that responsibility. Same thing happens everywhere. Such things may happen in college also. The staff needs to proactively come forward and take up the responsibilities. So that is a very important thing which I find that it is little bit lagging in the students, and that should be, that is what is expected. And another thing is related to, okay, failures. Now, if some task is given, people don't come up with solution, they don't find it, and then they don't have that strength, or I mean, not strength actually, the courage to tell that I am not able to do this. What we want is this job should be done. If you cannot do, come forward and tell that I cannot do this. But at least tell that you cannot do this, I will get it done from you only. But I'll help you, I'll give you some clue, just like we give it clue to the students, etc. No? Do this, read this, this is the, refer to this book, refer to this chapter, etc. So he can then come up with idea and then we can get the job done from him. And especially with the freshers, we are little bit lenient also. We know that this is the critical thing, we cannot give it to you, but this is something which we want to do over a period of time, we will hand it over to you. So I can expect it, if it's not done in 8 days, at least you can take 15 days, but still I can still expect from you only and get the things done. So that is another point. And one more point which I would like to, what our industry expects is that, which could be little bit lagging, especially for the students coming from this side. This side in the sense, I am pointing areas below Pune, so other side, like excluding Mumbai, Pune, etc. No? The leadership thing. So we want leaders to come up. People take up responsibility and be the leaders and guide the team. Okay. So leadership is something which also can be taught, and that is what is little bit expected. And mainly because I am from this area, so I feel that people from my area should come and become leaders going forward. That is the one thing which, this is from personal this thing I am telling, the third point. So this is what little bit what our industry could expect from the others. That's all.
So something, any comments by you, sir, or as per the critical thinking and problem solving. So what about these skills?
Yeah, I'll take the thread from what our Professor, Pandrabhatte sir has mentioned. Most of us, as I just took the information from the organizers, most of us are from the academics. Few are there from the industry, but they were also somewhere in the academics or as a student. So how many of us we are giving individual problem to each student? As a teacher, we always look at reducing our burden. So giving some assignments to the students, which is copy of each. So every student, the same question we are going to give it. The one student in the class will do it. The remaining students will make the copy of it and make a bundle of say copies, keep it to your personal room. After 7 days you will evaluate it and return it back to him. So I think this is the time where the teacher has to change. Like Pandrabhatte sir has mentioned, now gone is the area where we wanted to mug up the things and ask the students to reproduce the same thing. At that time it was okay when you were giving one assignment to the whole class and then the class was repeating. Can I give the assignment individually to each student, and at the same time my burden will not be increased because I have lot many students to evaluate, lot many things to do. Can I give some task to the student where the student can generate the interest, can do the task independently, and still I will be able to evaluate each student independently, having a different task, reducing my time as well. So we have to look on those lines. For that, of course, I understand saying the things is very easy, but unless and until I give the example, it will be incomplete. What I exactly want to say. Recent example, anybody from mechanical background and from Batu? So you may be aware there is a course, Fundamentals of Automobile Design for 3rd year. I am teaching that subject right now, and the assignment which I given to my students, first session under that is various features of the automobile. They have to list down and then which features are trending these days. That's what we wanted to make it. So I could give them some questions, student could write the answers to it and then bring it back to the class. So what I gave the assignment to them is, I told them that now already this is a festival season. So recently that Ganesh festival is completed, this Dashara has been completed, and now Diwali will be there. So lot many people will be purchasing the cars in and around them. So I told them that you have to just go to somebody whom you know, maybe at your own family relative, or maybe somebody outside. Go and take a photograph with their car. Your photograph should be there. You have to submit the assignment online to ensure that they have at least gone to somebody who has recently purchased a car. That car should be less than 1 year old, a new car, and ask them only 2 questions. One is, what are the features you looked into this particular car, and what were the alternative options available with you, why you didn't choose those things. So if these students can ask these questions, I need not to tell them the same thing in the class again. They will realize what are the features right now in the market, and they will realize which feature has got more weightage and why each particular feature has got this much weightage and what is important. So I need not to do this once again in the class. And as I mentioned, now each student has got an individual assignment. Even though the question is same, nobody can copy the answer, because everybody's car is different. They have to take a photograph with the car, and when they will go to the owner, you know, whenever somebody builds a new house, they will be very happy to share that and show that कि घर में मेरे कितना कैसे कैसे बना है, क्या क्या सिस्टम बना है. Somebody buys a new car, अगर हम उसके पास जाके उसको पूछते हैं कि ये कार कैसा खरीदा, कितने में खरीदा, क्या क्या फीचर्स है, he will be more enthusiastic to show those features and those details. And once a student goes near the car and sees those things, along with those things which the owner is showing, 10 more things he will see by his own eyes. And after Diwali, when he will come back to my class, it will be much easier for me to explain these things in the class. So this is something which goes to the critical thinking and problem solving. Now, of course, there is no problem involved into this, but this is where we have to initiate thinking in the students. Second important thing is related to the problem solving. Whatever TPCS, whatever projects these students are going to do it. So at that point also, the similar, because there you don't have the whole class to guide. You have hardly 1 or 2 groups to guide. So at that point of time, because all the COs and POs you cannot cover into one single subject. So these are the opportunities where you can develop this type of critical thinking amongst them. But for that, before we want to show something to the student, we have to learn these things. Then only we will be able to develop this and to ask the students to do these things. Unless until we know this, unless until we do the homework, we cannot give a good homework to the students. So our homework is important in that aspect. We have to think, first of all, what type of task I am going to give it to the student, so that his thinking is developed, his problem solving aspect is developed, and he will be able to demonstrate through it whatever Pandarpatte sir has mentioned. So if we can give this type of task to the students even coming from the rural background, then our students will be able to excel into the industry. This is a practice. This is like a net practice. So if you give this type of net practice in the classroom, then the students will be able to perform on the actual grounds.
Of course, we don't have choice now. Industry 4.0, Industry 5.0, that is going to be there.
Just a moment, I'll just break you here. Like sir had mentioned that there is a blend, we have to do some classroom and we have to do some online. So one point I just forgot to mention here. I am rather suggesting that don't ask them to do anything with paper and pencil now. Minimum, bare minimum, whatever is required, of course they will have to do it in their career as well. So bare minimum, you reduce that portion and give them more and more online assignments, more and more things to do it online. Because you will realize when your students are going to submit their project reports, they don't even know how to justify the text. They even don't know how to make that spacing in the line. And in their career, when they go to the industry, they will have to do these things only. Here you are teaching them lot many things, but when they go to the industry, they will have to use Excel. But they don't know the use of the Excel today. I don't want to teach them Excel in the classroom because I have lot many other stuff to teach them in the classroom. But if you make them compulsory that you have to submit this into Excel format, you have to submit this into PowerPoint format, you have to submit this into a Word copy, that assignment you will have to submit in the Word copy. Why we are not doing that? Because we know that if I give him the assignment in the Word copy, everybody will copy. One copy will be there and the other person will submit the same copy. So that's why I told you earlier that we have to give individual assignments. Everybody give a separate task to do it. Okay, so that that copy will be avoided, and we'll also train them in these tools which the industry actually wants. That's
Okay, I just want to add to what sir said. He really pointed out a very good thing about the MS Office. This is what something which is maximum time one has to work on this tool rather than the actual technical tools. So documentation, preparing PPT, etc. So we want the students to be prepared. I thought you're not able to hear. So we want the students to prepare for the PPT. They should be able to do a proper presentation, not a white background. Use colorful. Use your creativity in that, because that is we want people to learn. Similarly, Word. At least I would expect that all the students should write their project report in Word only. If they are not doing, better do it. So indirectly you learn the word, and then sir says whatever the font size changing, etc. So they will get used to all those things. Ask them to prepare a report, project report, and because the project is different, there won't be copy. So because the contents are different there. So project reports can be.
I have completely stopped. I do not give a single assignment with paper and pencil. Only, for example, in case of my third year machine design project, so third year machine design project, I asked them to do the drawing sheets. That's okay. Yeah. I asked them to make the drawing sheets, so drawing sheet is compulsory. But out of the 2 sheets, 1 sheet is physical sheet, the second sheet they will have to do it in the AutoCAD or any other CAD model for that matter. So that's what we have made it. We have made it completely 100%, especially for my subject, 100% online. So I have too many benefits of it, as I told you earlier. So I have a database available with me. Last 3-4 years database is there. Who has submitted which assignment, what type of things are there. And sometime I myself get benefited out of that. Whatever these young brains, they are searching and bringing those images and all those things. Some of the things are really good. I like it and I pick up them from that thing and then I put it into my presentations as well. If I'm not wrong, 2 of the people are there whom I taught research methodology. So if you remember, even in research methodology, I didn't give you any physical exercise. All those assignments were online. We gave 2 exercises, 2 assignments, both were totally online, totally online. So that's what we will have to work on, because all these things like Word and PowerPoint, whatever sir has just now mentioned, you have to prepare a tender document, you have to prepare the calculations. You cannot do it without Excel. And we will not be able to teach it in the classroom. So let them do it in the project. Whenever they are doing the project, whenever they are doing the presentation, like sir mentioned, the background. So the moment the student is presenting, will realize, "Arey nahi, arey background kaisa banaya hai?" Next time he realizes, whenever he is presenting, he will be there with another students, batchmates. So एक student का जो आपने query निकाला, एक student को जो आपने suggestion दिया है, that will be useful for other students as well. So the next class you will realize that those students जिसके लिए आपने वो वाला query नहीं निकाला था, background वाला, those people will also convert the background to a very colorful and a sober, or what type of, based on the presentation they will make the background. And that's really important. That's what a peer learning is.
Yeah, the other point which I was about to come, that the Excel part. Of course, the presentation part you get used to. Word, I just gave a solution like project report, etc. But the Excel part, Excel is such a powerful tool. If those who are using, I think they may be aware, but it's very useful, especially for the repetitive calculation. You write the values and just write the formula and drag the formula and everything gets calculated. So it's so powerful, and there are plenty of calculations you can do. Even you can even do sine, cos, anything, any calculations you can do in this. Even you can do binary, hex, etc., especially those who are in the thing. So you can print the values in binary, hex, and apart from decimal, etc. So they are very useful tools, and I suggest that students should use that. Somehow you should ask them to get those things learned of their own, I mean, sir said it's not possible because it's not part of the syllabus, but it is expected, you know all these things. And what the courses which are being done outside, like, I don't know what is that, CETs, they basically teach MS Office to those 10, 12 students, 10th pass or 12th pass students, or even the graduates also they do it. They only learn the MS Office, and then there is macros, etc. I need not go into details.
Different.
Their approach
from
is
the operator's point of view.
Yeah.
As an engineer,
as an engineer, you have to use it for your application.
Do it in the assignments.
Correct.
It will be more useful so that whatever they need to do in their future, that
be creativity.
Correct. And then the values which are displayed, I want only 3 decimal places. I don't want n number of digits after decimal. I want only 3 digits. So they should format the cell so that only 3-digit values are displayed. All these things they should learn. So these are certain things which actually help us a lot in your once you join the industry, because as I said, like we spend more time on using these tools rather than the technical. Because technical, we know we are just press this and the test will be done, etc. All those things we know the machine is doing in the background. It will be done very fast. But these are the things which we have to do manually, typing, etc. All those things. No. So just MS Office would be something which is very important.
So Pandharpate sir is quite, he has worked in the academics, he has worked in the educational institutes. So he better knows what are the students, what are the teachers, what management, college management is, and everybody, of course, what institute is. And now he's working with the industry. And of course, as I said, that industry 4.0 or whatever may be 5.0, we need to accept that. So we don't have any choice. So of course, he had the discussion of the Word and this MSX, that is Excel. But other than that, what are the challenges as far as this particular industry in 5.0 is concerned, and we the teachers, we the students, or we the institutes are concerned? So what we need to do, how the students and the teachers should behave, or the students should be, what I can say, cultivated so that they will face this particular change properly.
I think for this, we again go back to the issue of getting internship, etc. So I would suggest, if you are already doing, well and good, but if you are not doing, have a very strong alumni database. So every student who has passed out from this institute, you should have the database of, so when the student is going out, passing out, get these things filled. Or actually when we do the training and placement, no, we get the biodata prepared from them. This biodata itself, you feed it into your computer, have a database, and keep on updating that as and when you get information that, okay, he worked in so and so company, X company, and now he has moved to Y company. So update it as and when you get the information. And be in touch with these students. These are the people who will warmly welcome you when you go and visit them. And the training placement officer, he has to be of the caliber of HR. Industry has a HR. So this HR can directly communicate with the company HR. So there is a bond, immediate bond happening between them. A technical person going and talking with HR is different. That HR may not entertain. Okay, but a HR and HR, human resource manager, they will interact with each other. That kind of a technical placement, training placement officer, if you put, and prepare an alumni database and approach your students only. That see if you can accommodate 5 students in your company for internship, see if you can accommodate 10 students, so on. Depending on the size of the company, etc. You can ask them and they would readily welcome you and the students there. And at least they will do genuine efforts, take genuine efforts, and try to invite as many students as possible. Internship, you don't expect any financial this thing. If you get, well and good, but if you don't get, still the experience what you get is more important. that is more valuable than what because there are some organizations, they don't give, like small industries, they don't give any stipend. Big industries, formality, okay, give him some 2,000, no problem, we can give it. Rather, they themselves will say, okay, as per our standard, 3,000 we can give. So even if you don't expect, you start getting this thing. But that's very irrelevant, I would say. What experience the students will get, that is more important. So I would suggest build up alumni database and keep on updating it, and arrange a get together of the alumni batches very often, at least once in a year. And when people come, update your database from that. So as soon as they come, ask them to register, or you at least give an online page saying that, okay, fill up this form, and even if you don't come, I mean, I'm just saying that please fill up this form. Even if they don't come, at least you have the information with you. That itself is also good enough. If they can make it, well and good. If they cannot make it, at least the information, the form which they have filled up, that itself, you can update it in your database and fill up. You can ask them what was your roll number and which year you passed, and then filling up, and your branch, of course, all those things. So build up a strong alumni database, and that's very useful. Plus, that will be useful for you to send a message to all the broadcast a common message about your institute achievements and about what help you are expecting from the industry through the email addresses which you will be having.
Yeah, it's a very important point which sir has mentioned. In fact, it's not very difficult as well, because students themselves, alumni themselves are interested to come back and talk with the teacher. They will feel very proud when you recognize them. If alumni comes to the college or meets you somewhere else, and if you recognize him that, okay, I do recognize you, okay, I am batch ka student hai, then they will feel happy. And there is one more angle as well. They will be always happy to talk to the teachers because they have a question in their mind. Is that correct?
Thank you, sir. So earlier there had beautiful session as far as the sustainability is concerned, and of course the panelists, the members of panel are in front of us. So naturally that is very important issue or very important factor we need to consider, and that is we need to take the care of nature, as Tamankar said earlier, and of course the minimal wastage should be there. That is very important. Of course, we talked about the role of student, role of teacher, role of the institution or the management of this particular institute. Okay, that is good. But as far as this particular industry 5.0 is concerned, how you are, as an industry person, how you can contribute for the education? So, okay, you said just students should do this, students should do that, or the teacher should like this, like this, like this. But as far as now from your side, how we can contribute for this particular development of any institute as far as this industry 5.0 is concerned?
I would suggest some guests from the industry should be invited as often as possible and arrange their lectures, arrange their one-day session. That should be good enough. And of course, again, it becomes a little difficult because of the remote location, but still I personally apologize for this, because Ajay Dado sir had been asking me for a very long time to visit this place, and I myself was reluctant. Okay, I'll come sometime, come other time, etc. Somehow this time I could make it. So but yeah, just keep on inviting people. Even if they don't come, keep on inviting, and keep on inviting your alumni also.